It is Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024. My name is Pigeon and this is my song of the day. Hello and welcome back to Pigeon's Song of the Day, a show where I review a different song every day. We're still in our first week here, so we're still talking about opening songs, specifically first songs on albums. And today we're going to be talking about the first track from the first Arctic Monkeys album. The album's called Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. The song is called The View from the Afternoon. It was also the first track on an EP called Who the Fuck Are Arctic Monkeys? I said in a previous episode, I think it was the Starlings episode, how some songs have big opening song energy, and this is one of them. You couldn't do this album, like with all the songs that are on it, without this song being the opening, which is probably why it's also the opening of that EP. Like, this has to be the opening song for whatever it is. It's just so, it hits you full blast as soon as it starts. The drums come in and it hits you. But we'll discuss that after we listen to it. Just know that this is a real pump up song, both in terms of what the lyrics are about, kind of, in a sort of ironic way, but also just straight up musically. This is a big, high energy song. So we're going to pause and listen to it now, and we'll come back and talk about it. Yeah. Oh, there's just something. It's the drumming. It's the drumming. This will probably come up a few times in this podcast. I call myself a drummer. I haven't played the drums in over 10 years, but I own a drum kit, and it was like my aspiration as a kid to be a drummer. So even though I don't play, really, I very much have that mindset when I'm listening to music. I'm always paying attention to the drums. I'm always locking into the rhythm. And the drumming on this song is fucking insane. The whole album is really... Matt Helder's, the drummer for Arctic Monkeys, is so underused in their later albums. I don't hate Arctic Monkeys' later work, but their first three albums are definitely their best. They kind of fell off pretty harshly. Suck It and See is pretty mid. AM is good, but it's not great. Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not is great. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. Just one of the best rock albums of all time. And the drumming in this song is just relentless, and I love it so much. And I think then it makes sense when you think about it, because the music video is focused on the drumming. And the version I linked below is just the original studio version, because it's one of those music videos that has additional sounds and stuff in it, and I wanted you to listen to the song on its own. But you should also watch the music video, because it's great, and I'm going to talk about it a bit. Before I do, just going to talk some more about the song itself. So like I said, the drumming is great. Matt Helder's is so good on it. But also just the guitars, nothing too complex, but just, again, just lends to that driving rhythm, just the din, 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 just really gets you locked into it. And then the lyrics. So the whole album is kind of like a concept album about like nightlife and going to clubs, getting drunk, the kind of people you see there, kind of shit that people get up to, especially for young people, like. And this song is about that. It's all about like being disappointed on your night out. There's like a direct quote from Alex Turner I have here. Hold on. There's nothing clever. It's just about anticipating the evening, finding comfort in familiarity, and the fact that you know you're bound to send a daft message or something before the sun comes up. I think I've stopped doing that now. So like, yeah, it mentions all that, anticipation has the habit to set you up for disappointment in evening entertainment, but tonight there'll be some love and all that, and talks about the Larry girls hanging out the window, dressed in bunny ears and devil horns and all this, He mentions, I want to see you take the jackpot out of the fruit machine and put it all back in. You've got to understand that you can never beat the bandit. Because, pubs will often have like gambling machines that you just blow all your money on if you're not already blowing it all on pints. I've known this album for ages. I mean, this album came out in 2005. I was 10, and I probably listened to it in 2005, and I loved it right from the start, but I could not understand most of the lyrics, especially in the faster songs like this. And there's so much that I just didn't know, and I'm sure I've looked up the lyrics before, but I'm looking them up now for recording this, and there's some great stuff in here that I just didn't process at all before, because the chorus is, and she won't be surprised and she won't be shocked when she's pressed the star after she's pressed unlock, and there's verse and chapter sat in her inbox, and all that it says is that you've drank a lot. Someone gets home and unlocks her phone and presses the voicemail button, and her partner or her ex or whoever has just sent her like a long drunk message about whatever. Because it says this verse and chapter sat in her inbox, implying that it's long and complicated, but all that it says is that you've drank a lot. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go anywhere. You just sent a drunk message, and it's very well phrased. I enjoy that. And you can pour your heart heart out, but her reasoning will block out you send her after 9 o'clock. Like, she's like, she has the presence of mind to discount the things that you send her because she knows you're drunk, you know? And then the rest of it is just repeating the same lyrics, except for at the end, it's, you can pour your heart out around 3 o'clock when the 2 for 1's undone the writer's block. You know, you just had pint after pint after pint, and you feel full of, like, quote unquote creative energy, but like, it's nothing. The beer is giving you the confidence to say things, but not the ability to phrase them at all. So that's the lyrics. You know, just talking about like a pretty standard night out for someone just getting pissed and sending people voicemails. The music video is a guy in a parka playing the drums in like a block of flats, and he's just focused on this drumming the whole time. He's just drumming and drumming and drumming, and people come by and like distract him. Like, there's a woman wearing devil horns, there's a fox, there's 3 guys who try to like distract him by throwing food at him and like leaning in close to him, and then like a schoolgirl comes up and feeds him milk, and it shows this like brief shot of him floating in water, like kind of showing how much the milk refreshed him. And he looks down, his hands are bleeding, but he continues playing the drums. And then a guy goes to hit him with a baseball bat, but it cuts away before that happens. And apparently this whole thing is based on the story of the Buddha, which is interesting. He meditated, you know, under a tree for a few days, and while he was meditating, devils came to seduce him and sabotage him, like the woman in the devil horns and the guys trying to throw food at him and stuff. And a woman gave him milk to quench his thirst because he was starving himself. So it's an interesting way to kind of put that in a modern context of just someone being so focused on drumming that their hands bleed, but they won't stop no matter how much other people tempt them, except for this one bit where someone gives them a bit of milk. It's just an interesting way to kind of represent that with modern imagery, interpreting an old tale, you know? And it was filmed in Sheffield, which is where Arctic Monkeys are from, of course. This song also does something that, it's not something you want on every song, but it's often a fun thing when it happens on a song, which is it does a stop start. Now, usually I just like it when songs go like like there's just a brief stop, but this song actually winds down and then winds back up, which feels more like, I don't know, Beatlesy. Like the Beatles have a few songs like Helter Skelter that'll like phase from one ear to the other and things like that, but this just has it all fade out, and then it comes back in with a bom, bam, bom, bam, bom, bam. I think it's kind of interesting how the song starts with drums and then it fades back in with guitar and then the drums join in. So I enjoy that as well. I don't think I have much else to say, honestly. I really like this song. I like the video. I like the album. It's a great album. If I talk about other Arctic Monkeys songs on this show, it'll probably just be songs from this album, honestly. Like I said, I don't mind some of the other stuff, but I don't know if I have enough. Well, I might talk about Fluorescent Adolescent, actually. Or 505 would be ones from other albums, but mostly I think I would be talking about like When the Sun Goes Down and A Certain Romance. Both great songs from this album. But I think that's pretty much what I have to say about The View from the Afternoon. Oh, the title. When I read the title as a kid, I interpreted it as like the afternoon is the name of a hotel and you're looking at the window, because I just had a very literal mind in that way. I remember I used to doodle a lot as a kid, and I had this page in my sketch pad that was all like literal representations of song titles. Like there was a thing of Santa in his sleigh with a signpost that said town, with Santa Claus is coming to town, you know. There's a thing of someone walking up a staircase into heaven, right? Not difficult to figure these things out. The Arctic Monkeys ones were really stupid. Like one of them was Marty Bum, and it just had like, it was the word Marty written on a bum. And I definitely did one for like red light indicates doors are secure. I did one for When the Sun Goes Down. But yeah, The View from the Afternoon, I just like made a hotel called The Afternoon and someone viewing something. It's funny how the mind works like that. But one would assume that the title actually means like looking back on your night the following day. Like, you know, what's the view from the afternoon? Yeah, okay, I think I've squeezed this particular lemon dry. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you tomorrow.
Break it down.